And hello everyone, Gabe the Izzard here in Kingsland, Arkansas, hometown of Johnny Cash. Right there, historical marker. He lived in Kingsland until he was about 3 years old and moved to Dyess, Arkansas. Here on the highway, there is some Johnny Cash pictures and memorabilia right here. And just recently, Kingsland has become a little bit famous due to something that happened to their water tower, and that was right there. The Kingsland water tower has an image of Johnny Cash right there, and somebody had shot him in the ween and made it look like he was taking a leak. They shot the water tower, and water was coming out of his groin area. I had no idea that I would be coming here today, but I did in fact come here. I am starting stop 6 and 7 of my Arkansas State Park extravaganza. But here on the way to part 6, I had to stop here and pay a little respect to Mr. Man in Black himself, Johnny Cash. I just heard A Boy Named Sue. But yeah, look it up. That had water squirting out of its genitals just a couple weeks ago. They found the guy and arrested him. Go ahead, tag along on my state park journey. Or right here by the railroad tracks, you can come to the porch, sit down and stay a while. Just like Johnny did back in the day. And I have made it to State Park number 6 of my stop. This is part of the Camden Expedition National Historic Landmark, but it is where the Marx Mills Battleground or battle took place. And this was part of a Confederate Union Civil War battle that took place during 1864, sorry. And they've made a park out of it right here. This was a second part of a skirmish that happened right here. We are at Marx Mills right here. So just a brief rundown. The Unions had taken over Little Rock, and they were coming down to they were going to Shreveport to assist in invading Texas. They had about 13,000 men. They brought them down here. When they got to Poison Springs, they had a skirmish, and the Confederates, this is a Union army, the Confederates put a little whooping on them, and at that, just a day or so afterwards, the Confederates stopped a wagon train of supplies that was coming from Pine Bluff, and they were going to meet up with them here. And so this is where they hit that wagon train. The Confederates ended up taking like 1,300 horses, a bunch of ammunition, supplies, and after the Poison Springs battle, and then their supply chain getting hit, the Union was like, forget this, we're going back to Little Rock. And so they started to head back up. I will hit Poison Springs eventually, part of the first skirmish that they had, but now I am at the second skirmish, which is a state park. It is soggy. It does have some picnic tables here. It just rained a ton in the last day. But I'm just going to walk out here in the woods a bit just to see if there's actually anything that they might have deemed historic, or there's no trails, unlike a lot of state parks. There is a small body of water with a stick sticking out of it. So this is Marx Mills, which was a textile mill, which basically made things. And so yeah, they hit that wagon train right around here and took all the Union supplies, which at Poison Springs they lost quite a few people. So that was whenever they were like, we can hold off on that Texas thing, go back to Little Rock. There's water is flowing through here. I can't jump this. It's only clear for about another 50 yards or so. I don't see anything over there, but I'm going to try to maybe make my way somehow. I haven't found a way to really get over there, but I have found a snakeskin located right there. So I am now on high snake alert, as you can only imagine. Probably could have been a king snake, maybe. I don't see anything over here. So maybe that's all there is to the park. This is it. State Park. Little pavilion, a couple picnic areas, right at a Y. Just outside of Kingsland. And you can get your passport stamped at each one of these, and this is a self-service. You just emboss it right there. But they have the information placards right here that tell you about Marx Mill. They have the sign that acknowledges that that's where you are, a memorial, and then there's also a cell phone tour that you can call that number right there, and it tells you about the area. So that's State Park number 6. Not a lot to it. Probably one of the smallest state parks I've ever been to. Boy. Anyway, here is a war memorial. Whoa! In the memory of Captain Richard Tunstall Banks, serving under General James Fagan at the Battle of Marx Mill. So, there you go. All right. On to number 7, which is part of this whole Civil War trail, Jenkins Ferry. Gonna take a little bit of a drive, but I'll get there. Well, according to the water tower, we stopped in the town of Fordyce, and along the railroad tracks here, ate at the Round Table Coffee Shop and Cafe. Really good. Had their special, which was a chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, a roll, iced tea, and a piece of cake for like $9. And then also a jumbo cheeseburger with chips. They also gave a piece of cake with that. It was $17 for the whole thing. Incredible. But I have a locomotive here on the Fordyce Princeton Railroad Company. The 101 was built by Baldwin Locomotive in Pennsylvania in 1922. This is not a part of the state parks, but it is a part of getting to the state park between Marx Mill and Jenkins Ferry. So I am going to climb aboard this railroad train. This is where the engineer would sit and grab this lever. Or if you were Marty McFly, you would come along here on the train and you would get your hoverboard and go along there. I've never been on a train where you can actually walk on top of it. This is incredible. And then the bell. Holy cow. That was loud. I am a ways off of the ground. This is pretty neat. A locomotive. I'm going to show one more rail. Yeah. Got jabbed in the thigh with some metal. I'm going to show one more railroad type item here in just a second. Lots of knobs and levers. This is where you would throw the coal. Throw it in there. Pretty neat. Here we go. Let's go! Tracks are right there. This was the old train station, the cafe that we had lunch at. Walk over here to where the platform would have been. Come along here and load it up on the train. Not that long ago. That's the backside. We're gonna walk right down here to show something very interesting you don't see too often on railroad tracks. As with many railroad towns and also towns that had highways that bypassed the downtown area, this section has dried up pretty good. But it is nice to see that they utilized the old train station. Businesses like these used to thrive on railroad traffic. Now, not so much. But I'm going to walk here on the tracks for just a minute, which is probably illegal. Here is a switch. So they flip a little lever and these things move around to move from one side of the tracks to the other. Having a little stand by me moment. Walking along these railroad tracks. Almost missed this building here. Totally enveloped with the trees. But you know, it was a thriving business or of some sort in its day, now basically hidden from sight. And here it is, the Diamond Crossing. And I don't know if that gets its name because that could be shaped as a diamond, but you have train tracks that travel this way, and then you can get in here and they travel this way and that way. I would love to just walk down these train tracks as far as I could. It seems like it would be pretty interesting. And then, of course, this is back to where I was. That's the train station where we ate lunch. And then right over here is another train station, basically for these tracks. That's a pretty neat thing. I've never seen train tracks that crisscross. Here's a newer engine and an older engine sitting right next to each other. It's really amazing to think about the materials, the iron, the wood, the gravel, and the manpower that it took to make all of these railroads that traverse the entire country, and the infrastructure that was made to maintain it, and then the economy that it supported for years on end. And then once the railroad kind of dried up and people quit traveling, so did basically the towns that they went through. Now, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that this would be one station for one of those tracks that were going north and south, and the other one that was heading east and west. And I'm assuming that there are two stations because they would be going to two different locations. There's a bridge crossing the train tracks. Here is a very odd shaped, I guess it's an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. It's an octagon shaped concrete slab with a bracelet. Looks like there was plumbing here at one time. Now there's not. It's just one giant concrete octagon. Here's a majestic looking building with its red dome. Corner market at one time. And I will walk over here to see what it says. Home Insurance Company. I don't know if that was former or current. A few little businesses that are here. But pretty much dried up. Mural painted here on the side with a train, the Redbugs football, a bank, more football, dice. I don't know. Fordyce. Maybe that's what it's for. Some turkey, a deer, a log truck, and a church, and Fordyce cotton belt. What's weird is I'm walking where a building once stood. Right here. It's a windy day. This is what they call Redbug Alley, and Fordyce is home of the Redbugs. That's their high school. There you go, 1909. I guess they might have won a championship or something that year. And then some baseball, soccer, and basketball. Here on Main Street is the Dallas County Museum. Closed. They're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 to 4. Saturday, 10 to 2. Today's Sunday, by the way, May 22nd. Pew! Here's the Civil War marker for the road to Marx Mills. That's where General Steele's Union Army was heading to where we just came from. Had to go through Fordyce. And there is a Veterans War Memorial right here in between these buildings. It looks like it could have been the old jail. Has bars on the windows. I would assume that that might be what it is. And here is another bell. No. One time for fail. Across the street from the War Memorial is Jesus and Martin Luther King there at Hickey's. And here is a little alleyway with lights and the bricks. And a church bell ringing in the background. It's a very blustery day. And there's the Dallas County Museum of Sports. Right in there. Along with these old buildings with murals painted on the side, old advertisements. And the Benton Hardware Company, which is still in existence. These two jokers are running from the law. I'm not 100% sure who they are, but it's pretty neat. And there's the side of the Benton Hardware Company with the Coca-Cola mural. He's the type of street post that I grew up with. Basically a concrete pole painted white with black letters that said what street it is on. This is Chief Street, which would be that one right there. And this is Front Street, which is this one right here by the train station. Well, after tons and tons of driving, there is no way to get through. There are buzzards in the tree eating on this dead varmint that's in the road. I have tried and tried. It says posted no trespassing, but every road that I've found has been closed because of either deer lease or flooding. And so I'm going to go with the flooding. So I'm not going to be able to get to State Park number 7 today, just number 6. At least I got to do the extra bonus footage of Fordyce. So I'll have to take a special day to get to Jenkins Ferry. It looks like it's going to be cool. It's just so much water. There's water everywhere, standing water, standing puddles. I drove through lots of dirt and filth. My vehicle is covered in filth. But that's okay, because I'm going to make it one day. Thanks for watching. There are lots of mosquitoes. And this buzzard, that buzzard that's flying above, is ready to resume consume his meal right there. Thanks for watching. I will see you again. Later.